Hey guys, it's Sunday evening here. I have survived the weekend of my oldest daughter going to the prom, and then she went to visit one of the colleges on her list that she is going to be trying to get into. So it's been a packed, busy weekend, but I still wanted to take some time and, of course, enjoy the babies. And something I haven't talked about in a while, and people always ask about her, is Miss Aimee Webb, who I have the camera focused on at this moment. I once upon a time did a video about her first when I started my channel, which has been deleted, unfortunately. So I am going to go ahead and do it again upon multiple requests, and also because a topic on Doll Fan Forum has sparked me to want to do a video of this baby and what she represents in my collection, and you know, how I stumbled across bringing her home. So I will start off by saying that this baby truly is the baby that started my, real love of one of a kind, whether it be clay sculpted babies or reborn babies or silicone babies. You know, I've always loved dolls all of my life from the time I was a child. It stemmed from my grandmother bringing me to the local fair and buying me every year a cloth-made baby doll. And back then they were very, very simple, you know, super sweet, but I've always just loved babies in general. So she would buy me one every summer. And when I got older, I started collecting different porcelain dolls, and then there were Cabbage Patch Kids, things like that. So as far back as I can remember in my childhood, I've always loved babies and had them around me. And lucky enough for me, my family and my mom and my grandmother, they embraced that and allowed me to really enjoy that as part of my childhood. So when the reborns came on the scene, well, first off, they, pictures were very deceiving on eBay. As I recall, the first one I purchased seemed really, so much like the look of my daughter. And then when the doll showed up, it was like, oh dear. Poorly painted, just looked like a doll, didn't look like a baby at all, like in the pictures. So I was so sad and disappointed, and continued on the quest because reborns grew from there. So they started looking more and more like living babies, and from the time I started collecting baby dolls at that early stage, I was always searching for lifelike looking babies. I mean, I even collected Hempstead dolls, every kind of doll that looked remotely cute and baby-like, I was very much into. So one day when I was surfing the web looking at reborns, I was actually at work at one of my jobs. I distinctly recall sitting at my desk, looking on the internet on my lunch break or something to that nature, and I stumbled across Linda Webb's website, and she had a picture of this beautiful little baby that you have in front of you. It was Miss Aimee Webb. She was in a different outfit, of course, because this is not the original outfit she came with. I do have it. It's tucked away, folded very neatly and protected, because I like to keep everything all together and safe unless she's wearing it. And I absolutely, when I saw this baby on her website, I absolutely fell in love with her. I emailed Linda and I asked her if she was available to purchase, and Linda is a wonderful, wonderful woman. She kindly emailed me back and said that unfortunately she had been long since adopted, and I then started getting information about how to get a hold of one of her dolls, because I just fell in love with them. I mean, it wasn't just Aimee. She was the one that I really bonded with immediately. It was just all of her babies were just amazing to me. The detail, the sculpting, They're made from clay, so they're literally have the fingerprints of the artist in the clay. It's just amazing to me. And she then said she had a waiting list for up to, I don't know, I think it was up to 3 or 4 years at the time. And that was back in 2003 when I stumbled across her, because I know she was created in 2003, which is a long time ago. That's, more than 10 years ago now. And so I asked her politely to go ahead and put me on her waiting list. And I would wait and see if my name ever came up on the list when she got ready to sell, one of her clay sculpture babies. So I then moved onward and kept looking and searching, and I've always been looking for this sweet, peaky-eyed looking face, which I never could find anything remotely close. I've had lots of reborn babies, lots of, silicones weren't popular then because they weren't really discovered, I guess you could say. But reborns got very, very brilliantly made, I guess I could say. They became more lifelike and more, living looking. And so I continued buying and having a wonderful collection of reborns over the years. And I think maybe 2 or 3 years after I saw Aimee, it may even have been longer than that, someone had up for sale one of the twins that Linda had created. They were called Juan and Two. And cute little play on words there. And Two was the female, Juan was the boy. And someone had this baby up for sale, and I think I stumbled across it on Dollfan, and I jumped at the opportunity to bring one of Linda's creations home. And she was a beautiful doll, but she still wasn't Aimee. This baby here, it's this face. 1 and 2 were sleepers, as I recall. And very cute, very sweet. Just not what I was looking for, so I held on to her for a bit. I was always wowed by the details of the sculpting, though. But the baby didn't speak to me in a way that, I bonded with. So eventually I passed her along to another mommy, who I still think has her. I think the original mommy who had her. If not, then I could be wrong. We do trade out our babies quite a bit when we don't bond with them 100%. But anyways, and I continued on with my quest, and then silicones came on the mix. And about a year ago, I was talking and chatting with another doll fan member, and someone I'd talked to on a regular basis, I think, here and there. And she said she was the one who indeed adopted Aimee a ways back. And she was looking to part with some of her clay sculptures because she was making room for, silicones or whatever she wanted to get. And I absolutely was floored that I had the opportunity that I could actually adopt this baby. So I, of course, said, yes, please, and thank you. And, at this time, we're talking 10 years after this baby was created. And I figured she'd have no originals. I wondered if she'd had chips, scratches, broken fingers. I mean, babies that ever travel or pass from, mommy to mommy, they can easily get damaged in shipping. I've seen it happen. And when I asked what condition she was, she said, mint condition. There's no damage to her. There's no cracks, no breaks. Everything is intact. She had all of her originals, including all of her paperwork, which it never happens that long after. And I adopted this sweet baby. I brought her home. Finally. How many years later? It took 10 years for me to find and track down this baby, but when she arrived and I pulled her out of the box, I instantly fell in love with her. I think that collectors now, we are very finicky. I know I am. I'm very picky. I'm very finicky. And clearly this baby was meant for me to bring home. It took her a long travel to get to me, but I truly believe that she was meant to be mine. And I am still thrilled. I look at her every day, and I don't film her a lot because I don't handle her nearly as much as I would my silicone dolls or you know, a reborn, because to me she's just a treasure. She is not super delicate. I do redress her every once in a while. I'll change her depending on what a mood is in. And her sculpting is just, it's incredible. Linda has now since retired from sculpting. I never did get that baby on her list because she stopped sculpting before she ever, you know, completed her list and got to me, believe it or not. She's well known for the Emily sculpt and kit that was so famous in the reborn community. And she worked with, I believe it's Ashton Drake who produced her kits. Not 100% sure on that, but one of those big companies did. So she sculpted less and less, I think, because she was able to probably earn money the other, you know, on the other end. But as soon as I knew I was getting Aimee, I did reach out to Linda and asked her if she would be willing. I had an old copy, and I will show you. I pulled out, oops, sorry about that, but I pulled out an old copy of Discover Dolls. Let's see, it's from July of 2009. That's how old this copy is. And if you see, let me see if I can focus this. Okay, yeah. This is featuring Linda Webb and her sculpting. I've been holding on to things that, like, I do that. I hold on to things that I think are really neat. I love to read about, I miss having great doll magazines. This is one of them that I don't even know if they're still being produced. But I asked her when I spoke with her, wonderful, wonderful woman, by the way, if I could mail this to her and if she would be willing to sign it. And indeed, she said, please do send it to me. She was very happy that I was adopting one of her babies, and that I finally got one of her babies after all these years. But I'm going to show you, she also, upon the inside of this magazine, she also went ahead, because there's the actual story on her, she also signed the inside of it for me. And there's a whole spread on her babies, her sculpting, all about her as an artist, how she got into sculpting babies, which is awesome. I'll probably hold on to this for as long as I possibly can, along with my baby. And I'll also show you her original paperwork, which I find very interesting because amongst changing hands, one of the girls that was her previous mommy didn't have, apparently she didn't send the original COA, Certificate of Authenticity. This is her original Certificate of Authenticity. As you see, she's born in 2003. And this is on paper. And then if I pull the second one that came with her, it's pretty amazing. She had a new one sent out, and this is done on, actually it's a cloth paper, but it was reprinted for the mommy at the time. This is what came with her, and then someone contacted me that they had stumbled across the original, and they went ahead and they sent them to me. So now I have both, and it kind of completes. I have everything that's original of her clothing, her blankets, and her toy, and everything that came with this baby is still with her. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So there's the special story of my baby Aimee Webb. So there she is one more time, guys. It's a pretty lengthy conversation I share with you, my story. And she's looking cute as ever, and she's very comfy in her little beanbag chair. So there you go, guys. That's the history of Miss Aimee Webb and how she came to be. So I hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday evening, and I'm sure you'll hear from us soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.